My Gladiator 2 spoiler review is here, and thank you so much for joining me. If this is your first time, please hit that subscribe button and that notification button for more updates. And to those who have been joining me and continue to return and watch my stuff, thank you. I appreciate it. As always, let's get straight to it. Gladiator 2 was actually enjoyable. I went in originally not wanting to see the movie, but I went with a friend, so I wasn't sure if I was going to like it or not. I just had no interest. I thought the first one was great, and the sequel, which was in development hell for years, I was just like, I don't know if I want to see this continued world. I mean, Russell Crowe, I just felt like his character was it. I didn't need to see anything else based off of a Gladiator within that universe. I just didn't know if there was anything interesting for a sequel, especially since I've seen the Spartacus TV series on Showtime. 3-4 seasons of that. I thought that was great. If I wanted to see some Gladiator stuff and Romans and that whole era of Rome, the Roman Empire and whatnot, and I was like, I don't really care for Gladiator 2, but I went with my friend. She wanted to see it, and I was genuinely surprised that I liked it a lot. Is it better than the first one? No, but it was a good sequel. I thought it was a good follow-up. It focuses on Russell Crowe's character's son, who you figure out later on in the film, which is not, you don't figure out, they tell you he is the son of Russell Crowe's character, Maximus, I believe that was his name, Russell Crowe's character. So Hanno, who is his son, that's what he went by, he's actually Lucius. Later on, the mom from the first film, I forget her name, she ends up, the whole story ends up telling him that, I think he knows Hanno that that's his mom, but he just, since he went away to, be safe when he was a child, I figured, I think what it was that I originally thought he lost memory, but I think it was that he knew, and it came off that way, he just was just angry and just wanted no part of, what was going on because of his life now. When he left, he had a separate life, and he went by Hanno. But, he comes back because where he lives now gets attacked by the Roman Empire. The general, which is played by Pedro Pascal, ends up taking the city and the survivors as slaves, which Hanno, he's part of that. He becomes a gladiator. He's bought to be a gladiator by Denzel Washington's character, Martinez, right? Martinez, I believe that's his name. And he ends up being looked at as, wow, he's a really good entertainer. He's a good fighter. And Macrinus, or whatever the heck his name is, I'll just say Denzel Washington's character. He has actually, he has intentions. So the current rulers of the Roman Empire are two brothers, and they're just not great rulers. They're just bad. One's sick, he's dying, and the other one is just, even though he's losing it, and the other one just isn't. He takes care of him apparently, but he's still ruthless in his ways, and they're just not great emperors. I believe that's what they were considered, emperors, two emperors. And he wants to take over Denzel Washington's character because he used to be a slave. He was a gladiator, and then he got into the position that he was in to be into, the whole politics and own gladiators and, bets and stuff. And he just rose up in the ranks because apparently once you're a slave, you can buy your freedom from the gladiator games. If you win, you buy your freedom, but apparently you're able to find yourself in a higher position. So he had intentions to bring Rome down, the Roman Empire down, and you could tell Denzel Washington, he had so much fun. I felt like he had so much fun in this role. He just looked like he was enjoying himself in character. And, I've seen enough Denzel Washington movies, but I felt like this one, he was really just enjoying himself in this world. And he did a very great job. And I enjoyed watching him just be this character. And, Pedro Pascal, he's someone that's been obviously doing his thing for a while. He plays the general who doesn't want to follow the emperors. He doesn't want to be this, be ruthless, and married to the mom now. She's actually with him. So he wants to bring down the two emperors, but when they try to, because he has soldiers loyal to him, there's the praetors, which are loyal to the emperors, and then there's his soldiers, which is like 5,000, I think 2,000 soldiers he had that were loyal to him, the general. But over here, one of the mom of Hano, I forget her name, the character, one of her servants overhears the general wanting to bring down the emperors, and she also overhears that the son Hano is actually, or the guy Hano is actually her son Lucius, and she goes off to tell the emperors, and Martinez or whatever Denzel Washington's character hears of it, so he uses that to shut down the general. Pedro Pascal's character, I forget his name. Did I just say his name? Pedro Pascal's character? I probably did. There's so many names. But anyway, Pedro's character, Denzel, the emperors, they realize that he's trying to do a coup and get them killed. So they end up putting him in the Gladiator match against Hano, who Hano wants to kill anyway, Pedro's character, because he killed his wife and attacked the city. And Denzel knew that too. So he's like, I'm going to deliver this guy to you. And in the middle of fighting, Pedro is like, I love your mom. I love, your father. And, he was just trying to tell him that he doesn't want to kill him. And he's like, do what you got to do. But Hano, the son of Russell Crowe, again, he has two names. I'm just calling him Hano because that's what he goes throughout the whole movie. He ends up putting his sword down. He doesn't want to kill him, but the emperors end up getting him killed. Pedro's character, the arrows, the praetors, they kill him, and apparently Hano wants to bring down the emperors also because of the mom. He wants to save his mom. She's obviously part of that coup, so they were gonna kill her and have her. They wanted Hano to save her if he can fight against all the other praetors, not gladiators, praetors, to see if he can, save her, but Denzel Washington ends up killing her while the whole battle was going on because Hano actually was given the keys from the doctor guy who he tells him, I'm the son of Maximus. He gives him the ring. He's like, with this ring, go to Pedro Pascal's character, to the army that's out there that are loyal to them, show them this ring and they'll come. So, to have war against the emperors and the praetor, the praetors, soldiers. So eventually he goes out to get them, and he's given the keys by the doctor because what happens is Hano, he unlocks all the doors to the gladiators, and as he's supposed to save his mom against the praetors that are surrounding, the gladiators come out, and there's like a whole battle. But in the midst of that happening, Denzel Washington kills the one brother who's going cuckoo because he's sick. I think he had like a disease, STD or something, because the way the brother said he has a disease from his loins that's traveling to his brains. So apparently Denzel already killed that brother, the older brother, through talking to the sick brother, making him assume the worst and taking advantage of that and getting him killed, the brother. And then while that battle is going on with Hano and the gladiators against the praetor trying to save his mom, he kills the sick brother and he goes off to, because he's already been given the power by the sick brother to have control of the armies because, he has his own intent to shut down the empire, or the Romans. But before he leaves off, he shoots the arrow and kills the mom, and now Hano is like, he has to chase Denzel Washington's character. So the praetors are going to meet the loyal soldiers of the general, the meeting outside of Rome, the Colosseum, or that part of Rome. Hano's chasing Denzel Washington's character, and I'm pretty much giving the whole story. I normally don't do that, but it was interesting. It just, they meet up and he ends up killing Denzel Washington, and he does this whole speech about trying to reclaim Rome for the good, and we'll see what happens because he is the prince, so he would be next in line to be emperor. So that's the story of that. I'm giving you the rundown. I normally don't do that, but that whole aspect of the film I actually enjoyed. That's what made it interesting for me because I didn't know what I was going into with, this random person from outside coming in as a gladiator from being getting captured and becoming a slave, and now he's popular and then he's gonna have revenge. And I just thought I don't need to see that again. I've seen that in other stuff, the first film, which, I forgot Russell Crowe was actually part of the Roman. He was a general in the Roman Empire, but was betrayed, and he became a gladiator, slave, and became a gladiator. I thought he was randomly elsewhere as a general and taken as a slave. He was actually part of the Roman Empire, and I mixed that up somewhere, so I didn't realize. But this was different, and he was the son of Russell Crowe's character, just sent away, and he comes back, and things happen because the mom realizes, wait, that's my son, and things are said and shown, and there's people. The Denzel Washington's character has different intentions, and Pedro Pascal's character, he doesn't want to be this ruthless general. He wants better for Rome, and these emperors are crap. So, it was just done very well. I thought it was a good sequel. Again, I was just so surprised, and it's not better than the first one, but I thought it was a worthy sequel. The only problem I would say that I have with the sequel was the CGI, which, I'm okay with CGI. It doesn't have to be extravagant. It doesn't have to look the best, but you can see where elements of the CGI was like, did they need to go with this route? And I think the main one was the monkeys. They looked fake. Again, I don't care if it was a different type of movie, but I feel like I don't know if they actually would have existed in this timeline back then. These monkeys, were they a thing back then? I know, the guy riding the rhino. I don't remember if that was a thing in the beginning. The first film, where it was like these animals being used, and then you got the sharks, and they also look, fake. And again, I'm not a stickler for CGI, but I felt maybe the monkeys aspect was probably the worst part of the film. I can't really say I didn't like anything else, because I've read reviews prior to watching the film, and there were things that were said, and when it came to like the whole wokeness and this and that, and I'm like, it seems whack. But I didn't see any of what the people were complaining about in my viewing. The wife of Hano's character, they would say, oh, why can't women just be the people that you would want to save and have them run off, versus his wife, who was a soldier. And they try to make it a thing, why can't she just be someone that would run away with, and not have to worry about fighting? Why give these, women that strength? And back in the days, you had women that were fighters too, so it's not a big deal. I think people look at things a little too much. Not everything is woke. Some things are just more prevalent, especially for nowadays. But if it's not thrown in your face, what's the big deal? If it's done in a way where it's like, I can see this being a thing. Not everybody, why not have it damsels in distress? Not everyone is a damsel in distress. You can still tell these stories where you have strong female characters and characters who are, who aren't fighters, and they would need rescue. Like, it's fine. The same for, men. You're going to have your strong men, you're going to have your weak men, and you can play with that. But nowadays, things are considered, too woke and this and that. And in most cases, you see that thrown in your face, and I hate it. But I'm not like, every time I see something where you have this character that's not normally shown, or a type of person that's not given that credibility. Like, what's the big deal? It's storytelling. It's not always about throwing it in your face, but making it more with the times, and not in a way that it's just like, here we go. You got this type of character, and it's like, why? And why not? Because in the end of the day, people, these people exist. You have your strong fighters, who are women, who aren't about, being a princess, and are your damsels. You have, nowadays it's more prevalent where you have these characters and these people that are strong. So I think just people that, just because they're not used to it, it's automatically taken in a way where it's like, roll eyes. So it's not fair, because you're gonna get these stories. And with my Lord of the Rings World of Rohirrim, like I've mentioned, I think in the review, how the main character is a female. She doesn't want to get married, and she's a fighter. And it's like, people, I saw reviews about that. Oh, why we gotta have a woman? And it's like, why not? If you've seen Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, you know that Eowyn was a character, much like Hera from Lord of the Rings World of Rohirrim. She didn't want to be caged. She wants to fight. We've seen that before. So why is it a big deal that because it's a hot topic now, wokeness and whatnot, that when you see these characters, it's an eye roll, as if we've never gotten it before. But I enjoyed Gladiator 2 a lot. I think if you're a big fan of the first one, you shouldn't skip out on the second one. I think it's good to see it at the theaters. While it's still out, go ahead, if you haven't seen it and you're wanting to see something in the theaters right now, Gladiator 2 is definitely a top pick. I know I want to see Nosferatu soon. Let me know what you think. Please leave a like. Again, hit that subscribe button and have conversations, people. Let me know what you thought about the film. I will get back to you. Keep my interaction alive because I don't really get much interaction going. So let's make it happen. Thank you so much for joining me. And until next time, later.